Shalom Israel, Shalom, Shalom. Brother Nakwam, Watchman for Israel, coming back at you with these precepts and another Monday Night Fire, giving, of course, all honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Mashiach, Wamalak Abashai, double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting and laboring for the second coming of our Lord Yahushai. A hearty, mighty Shalom to all of the mighty men of the Most High God who are out there in the highways and byways, pushing this truth, magnifying the ministry, presenting their bodies as a living sacrifice, and enduring all things for the elect's sake. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there in the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent, and they're abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters that are out there zealous, diligent, and on fire, moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. Shalom to the ancient men, shalom to the children, and shalom to the elect of Israel scattered abroad throughout the four corners of the earth. And shalom to everybody tuning in live through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashim Yahushai, Don Israel to me, Brother Azariah, shalom, King Yafei Israel, Elder Dario Wash, shalom, Nigel Blends, Cap-Elect, shalom to Puak, Princess Kalaya, Ephraimite Ak, Vincent Calhoun, Kwame Ashala 12, Cedric Israel, and again, everybody else tuning in and that will tune in, Lord willing, right? So-called 2026 is upon us, and Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai is continually touching the earth, right? Through disasters, through earthquakes, through global events, through uprisings, through the taking captive of so-called presidents, to threats of World War III, to missiles being launched. I mean, everything is kicking off with a major bang, like the Most High's been doing every year, man. Right? It seems as though as the so-called white man is in his mirth of revelry, drunkenness, freakism at the Times Square watching the ball drop, and his full of vanity, man. You know, I mean, there's no other way to put it. While he's full of his vanity and ungodly lust and unbridled passions, Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah is working through the angels, stirring up the minds of men, stirring up the elements to further fulfill World War III. And you know, we always encourage through the spirit and power of Yahweh and his only begotten son Yahweh Shai to keep watch, right? To constantly watch. Slocky, bear with me, right? To constantly watch, pay attention to what's going on around you, man, and see how Yahweh Ba'ashim Shai is touching the earth. Right, I want to kick it off real quick with Second Ezra. Right, it's important in the last days to keep your eyes on what's happening around you. Right, to keep your eyes on what's happening around you. Right, this is Second Ezra, chapter 2, and verse number 13. Go, and ye shall receive. Pray for a few days unto you, that they may be shortened. The kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. So we're charged to do this, man, to go and we shall receive. Go to who? Go to the Most High. Through his son Yahushua, right? Ask of wisdom, ask of life, right? Ask of knowledge and understanding. Ask of protection. Ask that the Most High don't take the Holy Spirit from you. You're going to receive it. Ask that Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah preserves you until the day of evil. Ask that Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah keeps a hedge about you, your household, your children, your woman, the brethren that you labor with, Israel, the elect. You know, you go to the Most High through his son Yahweh Shai, and you'll receive these things. Also pray for a few days. So there should not be an Israelite that has expectations of America lasting for years and years and years. The Lord said in Matthew the 6th chapter, sufficient unto the day are the evils thereof, paraphrasing. So we're not looking for this place to continue 100 more years, 50 more years, 20 more years. Right? We're praying for a few days that the Most High makes the time short. Right? And time is flying, man. It'll be Passover before you know it in springtime. It's going to fly just like that, man. The way that the Most High has time, you know, working, things are speeding up. And there's major events happening. The Lord also said the kingdom is already prepared for you. Watch. So it's already here, man. The prophets already saw the kingdom. You know, they already saw the end of the world. They saw, let me get the brother back here.
Shalom, King.
Shalom, King. How you feeling?
Smooth. How you feeling?
I'm all right. All praise to the Most High. So, hey, the Most High said that the kingdom is already prepared for you. So there's nothing that you have to do to build up the kingdom of heaven. Ezra saw the kingdom of heaven. John saw the kingdom of heaven. Tobit saw the kingdom of heaven. Right? Isaiah saw the kingdom of heaven. It's there. The Most High showed them what the walls are going to look like, what the prophecies are going to be, how the city's going to be built, what type of government is going to be established. It's already set up, but it was set up and through visions and set up through promises. And all we have to do is watch. Let's go to Luke chapter 21. Right. And it's easy to get caught up in this world, man. Everybody has, things that they do. You have pastimes, you have hobbies, you may have a job, you may have multiple jobs. You may struggle juggling and balancing life and children and your health and sicknesses and paying this off and this bill or this mortgage or this rent. And it may get easy to get caught up into the web of life of the so-called white man, right? And every now and then, really often, do you have to take that step back and remember, hey, this is a web, and I got caught up in this thing. And real quick, and before I get that, let me get this in 2 Timothy 2, right? This 2 Timothy chapter 2 and 4 made me think of this precept. It reads, "No man that warreth entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who hath chosen him to be a soldier." So you were called and you were chosen to be a soldier. And there's not a soldier that's successful. I've never seen those soldiers with 50 medals and 50 badges and patches and 5 gold stars. And I've never seen those men that had these worldly accolades that was entangled with the world, man. They were focused on the mission. They were focused on who the enemy was. Right? They were courageous, they were bold, and they weren't thinking about what their son was doing in the 5th grade graduation, man. Right? They wasn't thinking about what their daughter was doing, man, or what their woman had going on. They was focused on the mission. So you as a soldier of the Most High, you can't be preoccupied. Your mind has to be focused because it's easy to get entangled. It's easy to get entangled with the affairs of this life. Right? This life is real, man. And stuff is happening every day. We all in the real world, man. I don't know not one brother that lives in a chariot. He's fed manna by day and angels feed him by night. Everybody, it's like you're going through something, man. And you got to check your time. You got to have time management. You better have schedules, man. You got to snap out that hypnosis, man, and lock in. Because the Lord called you to be a soldier. If you're not paying attention in a war, you'll get shot, man. Your armor blow up. Somebody threw a grenade. You wasn't paying attention to it. Right? People are walking, and then in the battlefield, it's a landmine right there. And if you're not paying attention, you step on that landmine and blow your damn hips off, man. And your whole lower half of your body. Then you got that guy that stopped. Whoa, what's that? Right? And everybody stopped and he said, that's a landmine right there. They send a bomb squad out there. They dismantle that thing and they keep it moving. Trip mines and snares and gins. Right? Let me get one more real quick in Luke 21. Right? So pay attention to the snares and the traps and the spiritual landmines that'll blow you up, man. And you don't recover from them landmines. Right? You don't recover from that. That'll blow your whole lower half of your body off, man. It's over. You are no longer fit for war. They send you home, right? You are no longer fit for war. Luke 21 and 34, right? Luke chapter 21 and 34. And take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life, and so that day come upon you unawares. So take heed to your spirit. Examine, how you move on a day-to-day basis, man. Otherwise, your heart can get overcharged. Next thing you know, you're working 70 hours in a week. It just happened. You know how it happened, right? Then you picked up this hobby and that hobby. You don't know how it happened. Right now, you binge watching and scrolling. You just got overcharged. Certain things can render themselves useless and wax worse when they're overcharged. That's why you're told not to leave your laptop charged up all the time. It'll mess the battery up, or your phone, it'll mess things up. You got to unplug from the world at times. You can't be all amped up and juiced up with worldly spirits. You got to unplug. right? And it's like it says with surfeiting and drunkenness. So surfeiting is doing things in excess, right? And drunkenness is taking on the spirit of this world, the philosophies, the cares of this life, and all manner of the flesh, right? And if you aren't paying attention, that day is going to come upon you unawares. For as a snare shall it come on all them that dwell on the face of the whole earth. Watch ye therefore, and pray always, that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things that shall come to pass, and to stand before the Son of Man. And this has to be in our prayers. We have to pray that we're accounted worthy to escape the destruction, day-to-day trials, tribulations, the temptations, the missiles, the chariots coming. We want to escape everything and see the Son of Man. But you got it, King.
Khan, that's right. Let's go to the mighty book of First Thessalonians, chapter 5 and verse 1. Right. And keeping watching and being diligent is vital to your salvation. Right. Playing upon tables, if you're not solely making sure that you're keeping guard and keeping watch, you're gonna get overthrown. It's the book of First Thessalonians 5 and 1. But of these times and these seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. For ye yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord cometh as a thief in the night. So when Paul was teaching and talking and writing this epistle to the Thessalonians, right, he was letting them know, Shalom, King. He was letting them know,
Shalom, King.
Right through the Spirit, that they already know the day of the Lord is coming. I don't even need to write unto you, man. Where you even knew that in the world. You understood those things. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction coming. That's one of the key things you ought to be looking for in the last days is peace treaties, man. Look at the time in Maccabees when it was peace treaties. What did they do? They overrode their peace treaties, man. Alexander the Great, Antiochus Epiphanes IV, right? Nicanor, all of these wicked men that came in peaceable in a like manner, but inwardly they drew swords. That's one of the main things you should be looking for, man. Peace treaties, right? Everybody coming together, alliances. All of these things are pushing that agenda that everything's going to be all right, right? But the Lord is saying that sudden destruction coming upon them that travaileth, right, on a woman with child, and they shall not escape. But ye, brethren, are not in darkness. What makes you in darkness? First and foremost, not knowing the Most High. Sin, iniquity, being alienated, having a gap, not watching, not being diligent. If you're in darkness, that's manyfold, man. Meaning your wickedness has made you in darkness because it draws you away from the Heavenly Father. Isaiah 59 and verse 1, right? You not watching, having no idea what's going on in the earth, you can't mark the prophecies. So you can't measure to see how close you are to the end. So you're in darkness. That day should overtake you as a thief. Nobody knows a thief is coming, man. When you're in your bed, you're tucked in, right? You have no care in the world. You have put your what is it called? Little thing, what is it? You turn up the heat, man. Your what is it called? Thermostat. Yeah, your thermostat. You hit your little thermostat, man. You put your outfit on, you just took a shower, you just whatever, got yourself together, you had a nice dinner, you're in the bed, you have no cares in the world. But here comes the thief at 3 o'clock, man. 4 a.m. breaking into your garage. He's all in your attic. He's creeping all in the backyard, man. These days are going to catch men like a thief in the night, and they're going to have no idea where it came from, man. No idea when they put a freeze on your bank account. No idea when they put a freeze on the currency and everything drop in a matter of seconds. You got certain people, they watch the stock market, man. They literally stock the stock market, and they're looking at that little bar going up in the green, and they just waiting for it to shoot down. And they're watching diligently. Why? Because they have their money tied into that, man. You have to look spiritually because your mind isn't and your spirit isn't tied into this world. You have to see when this place is going down, and you have to continuously watch. It says, "Ye are the children of the light and the children of the day. We are not the children, we are not of the night nor of the darkness. Therefore, let us not sleep as do others, but let us watch and be sober." Brother Scott.
God. Let's go to Matthew chapter 24, right? And start at verse number 5. Right. So these days have been foretold thousands and thousands of years ago how the end times are gonna come. Right. So in these last days, we gotta be not as the foolish virgins who wasted all their oil and substance on things that didn't matter, but we have to store up and make sure that we're being occupied. Make sure that we're watching the things that are going on, not just in Babylon, but throughout the whole earth, right? And you're not going to just get it from what CNN, CBS, Fox, right? All those are altered to make you feel pretty much like Babylon is the one who's in the right? Babylon is the one who's doing the things that are making the homeland safe, right? You have to be able to get news information from all different outlets and be able to decipher and link them up with the precepts and the prophecy to see exactly what's going on, right? At least these times come before you and you don't know how to move or know how to act, right? You're going to and fro. Somebody's saying they found the Lord. You're in the midst of the desert and you're looking at some random white man and he telling you all manners of lies and you're being deceived. Right, so it's important to read and go through these prophecies and also be watchful. Right, but this is Matthew chapter 24. I'm gonna start at verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. Right, and that's going into these false prophets. Right, and it's not just them saying that they're Christ, but they're saying they're coming in the image of Yahushua as well. Right, they're speaking as the man of Yahushua, deceiving the masses, causing people to forget their first estate, going back to the old vomit, turning back into the old man, right? And they're being deceived, and they're following after these men. Verse number 6, and you shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. Right, we've been hearing of rumors of wars for the past 5 years. Right, first it started off with Syria. Right, they completely demolished and depleted Syria. Right, then they went to Iran and started bombing Iran. It's always rumors of wars, and you hearing uprisings of the people. Right, these are the things you should be watching for, and it always happens at the beginning of the so-called New Year. Right, it always happens around January 1st to January 15th. Something major happens. Right, verse number 7. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Right? So these are the beginning of sorrows. Right? You're seeing the times wax worse. Right? You're seeing the cancer rate skyrocket. I was talking to the brother at camp. We're seeing people, give up the ghost at an alarming rate. Right? You can't even keep up with it. Now they got the tracker to see who's getting sick from that disease that came about a couple years ago. They bringing that back. It's a flu epidemic, right? It's another disease that they said came back. I can't remember what it was called.
Yeah, I haven't seen that one yet.
I can't
I
remember.
know they said they bringing something back.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was, but they said another so-called sickness is revamping back up. Right? These are the beginning of sorrows. These are the times of weeping and gnashing of teeth that we're going to be talking about. Right now, like the brother said, you can be comfortable. You can adjust your heat with the thermostat. Right, they got the apps, so you don't got to get up like how we used to. Right, these are the times of sorrow. So you have to store up more wine than ever, more oil than ever. So you're not out here caught looking to the left and looking to the right and not knowing what's coming before you. Because like the brother was saying, the Lord coming like a thief in the night. You don't know when the thief is coming. Right? If you did, you'd be sitting at your porch or your front door, on your deck or your patio with a shotgun waiting for him. You don't know. So it's a wise saying in the world, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. Right? You should be occupied in this. You should be going over the things that you haven't went over in a while. You should be making sure that you still understand what's going to happen. Right? Let's jump to verse number 34. Baba Kishar. Right? I'm going to jump to 36. Right? It says, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. Right? So anybody who's telling you the end of the world is coming December 31st, 2028, don't believe them. Pay them no mind. Brush it behind you. Walk past like it was a fragrance at the mall and you forget it as soon as you take 10 steps away. Right? No man knoweth the time but the Father in heaven only. But as the days of Noah were so shall also the Son of Man be. So as they was giving in the wine, giving in the marriage, acting like everything was great, right? And an abysmal abomination is coming that nobody is thinking about. Right? You tell the average American's about to be destroyed, they laughing. Did you see what we just did to Venezuela? Do you see what his president is? You see the strength of our military? But this military has nothing compared to Yahweh Shem Shah's army. Right? Verse number 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage until the day Noah entered into the ark. And what's that day that Noah entered into the ark? When the elect are sealed. When the elect is sealed, that's when the four winds are gonna blow upon this earth. Complete and utter annihilation. And knew not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall the coming of man be. In the same manner that nobody was paying attention, nobody knew, everybody was doing their own pleasure, is the same way that Yahweh Shah is coming back to deliver his elect and exact vengeance upon this earth. Right, my brothers got it.
Yeah, it's right, man. And I want to get this in Second Ezra, the 6th chapter, real quick. We'll get one quick precept. This is Second Ezra, chapter 6, and I'm gonna read verse number 17. It reads, and it happened that when I had heard it, I stood up upon my feet and hearkened, and behold, there was a voice that spake, and the sound of it was like the sound of many waters. And it said, behold, the days come that I will begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell upon the earth. And these are the days that we're going through now. These are the days that we're experiencing with war, famine, judgment, earthquakes, chariot sightings, seditions, uprisings, right? Riots in the streets, pandemonium. This is the Most High visiting the earth. He's not going to visit the earth how we were taught in the world of Christianity. When he comes on a white horse and a nice, clean garment, and he's coming and he's holding his hands out, and everybody runs to him and they hug and they laugh, and he hands out, thank you cards. No, he's coming to visit the earth with judgments, right? Verse 19, with death, with war, and will begin to make inquisition of them, what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. So the Most High has angels out here, right? Charging and writing all of the sins that these men are doing in the last days. That's him making inquisition. The Lord made a similar inquisition in the days of Lot. He sent 2 angels down there to see if they were as wicked as the cries of Lot, man. And they wanted to stay out in the city all night to inquire what was really going on in Sodom and Gomorrah. So the Lord has spirits out here, and he's making inquisition on Babylon the Great and all these other cities and nations that we served in, right? And once our affliction is fulfilled, because we have a set, like any punishment, any condemnation, even in the so-called white man's world of court, you can do 20 years. There's always a time limit. You can do 5 years. You can do consecutive life sentences. You could do 3 years. And so everybody has an affliction, and it's set at a set time to be released. Our affliction and our release date is coming up. That's why people in prison, they be all excited, man. They got 1 year left, man. I got the 30 days left, man. 5 days. And a lot of them people, so they say in prison, don't like when they hear that you about to get released, man. They looking to keep you back, man. Get you caught up into some mess, right? Get you all jammed up, right? Get you involved in the matter that you had nothing to do with just so you can stay there. And that's how these nations doing us. They know our release date is coming, man. They see it. You know, they see Yahweh Shema Shai working and waking up the elect, right? And resurrecting the valley of dry bones. Verse 20. And when here's the point, and when the world that shall begin to vanish away shall be finished, then will I show these tokens. The book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall see all together. So this world is beginning to vanish away, right? Through war, through decay, through corruption, through disease, through just the man, right? Man has corrupted the earth, pursuant to Isaiah 24 and 5. They changed the ordinances, right? They corrupted the earth, right? They broke the everlasting covenant. So the world is beginning to vanish away. Things aren't the same anymore. People don't think the same. The music is getting worse. The clothes are getting worse. The air is getting worse. The food is not real food anymore, right? You don't know what you're eating half the time. It took me 20 minutes a few weeks ago to determine to read what was on this thing I tried to get for work, man. Inside the vending machine thing. It took me almost 20 minutes to read it. Nobody really knows what they're eating. That's why you got to pray over this stuff, man. So the food is vanishing. Everything's vanishing away. And everything's decaying. Like the Lord said in 2 Ezra 14, the world has lost its youth. You know, and the times begin to draw nigh. So we're going into these different events and touching on, you know, what the Most High is doing on the earth. So so this just happened, right? Well, January 4th, right? January 4th, they got 5:53 a.m., the so-called yesterday. North Korea fires ballistic missiles and also condemns U.S. strikes on Venezuela, right? So if you're watching, you see that North Korea, they're continually launching missiles. Now, one more quick point, not to be long-winded, but they just made this movie that we even mentioned this months ago. They had the movie House of Dynamite. If you haven't seen that movie, check it out. But it's about North Korea launching a missile, and everybody just chalked it as if it was, oh, it's just going to land in the Sea of Japan, or it's just going to be a dud, or it's just going to explode in midair. It ain't going to go nowhere. And in that movie, when they launched that missile, that was the real deal. They tried to shrug it off, and, you know, so these missiles are real. They're going to fire these missiles, and this one landed in the sea. But the Most High, he's showing you that you have to receive instruction that he's still working on the minds of these world leaders to bring about a global war, right? And North Korea, they link up with China. They're linked up with Russia. They're linked up with Iran, right? And they're all anti-West and anti-American. The brothers got it.
Khan, that's right. Yeah, I mean, and two, for brothers that don't know how to watch, again, brothers have said all the time, you know, how to do it. You know, you can make you a Twitter account. That's where a lot of information, raw information, uncut information is, man. Right. I mean, they'll show you certain things that won't hit the massive media, right, when you cut on the news. You know, maybe a heathen, you know, in a building, he's filming something, he uploaded to the web, they go on these different sites and these different things like that. You may have different intel, whistleblowers, people that are in the army. You got elected officials. It's so many things you hear from the horse's mouth, right? So-called Donald Trump, right? He'll tweet different things on his page. It's so much you can see by getting on Twitter, you know, amongst other sources. So make sure if you don't have it, that you download that for the sake of watching. You know, it's better than news, in my opinion, because news is going to trim and it's only going to show you but so much, because it could be a mass, you know, uproar of people. All hell could break loose. So it shows you the raw and the uncut. Let's go to the mighty book of 2 Esdras, right? Chapter 16 and verse number 37. Right, and again, the Lord has prophesied of these days that are upon the earth, right? This is a very exciting time. It's very, what should I say? It's unrolling right before your eyes. So as you look, you see North Korea, you see China, you see Russia, you see all of these powers of the earth. They're getting involved. Alliances being formed. That's all for the demise and destruction of this earth. It's the book of 2nd Esdras 16 and 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack. Right? The plagues, bombs, destruction. World War III, pestilence, man. These are drawing nigh upon the earth. And once they start to draw nigh, they're not going to withdraw themselves. Don't think in the last days it's going to get easier. It's only going to get harder. If you're dealing with spirits right now, don't arm yourself. Don't have a defeatist mentality either, but don't arm yourself to think all these spirits are just going to disappear. No, spirits are going to increase. Demons, plagues, pestilence, infirmities, man, job losses. Things are only going to get worse. So by chance, you have to be stronger in the last days. You cannot be stagnant because these demons are going to sift you out, right, in the ways of this world. And how it started, the decay is going to wean you out. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slack, meaning they're not taking their time. As when a woman with child in the 9th month bringeth forth her son, within 2 or 3 hours of her birth, great pains can pass her womb. Do you think a woman that's given birth is going to withdraw her child back into her stomach? I've never seen that happen. If anything, she wants to deliver even more. She's pushing even more. It's more pains, right? It's more a feeling of hurt in her body, and it's more trouble, man. And that's exactly how it's going to be with these plagues. It's going to kick off more and more. It's going to get stronger. It may touch one of your family members. See, right now, you're hearing everything word of mouth. Word of mouth for bomb drop. You're hearing that word of mouth. You're seeing it on the TV, right? It wasn't my local grocery store. It wasn't my local gas station. It wasn't my family member by blood. Yet you're seeing all these things from the outside looking in. But it's going to come a point, right, where these things are going to touch your streets, your cities. And it's not going to be a point of you being able to be bougie and see if, this is something you want to look at or see. It's going to be hit close to home and it's going to cut you, man. It says, which pains when the child cometh forth, they slack not a moment. Even so, shall not the plagues be slack to come upon the earth, and the world shall mourn. So don't think this is a Middle East thing. You're watching with your popcorn. You're on social media scroll. This is a Middle East thing, man. No, the Lord said these things are going to happen upon all the earth. The earth will hit a famine. The earth will have pestilences, man. The earth will be in war. So these things right now are starting at a location and spreading with policies, relationships, war, but it's making its way. And it's mercy that the Most High is showing you afar off. And it didn't just hit like a bomb out of nowhere, man. And you can see these things approaching. It says, and the world shall mourn, and sorrow shall come upon, right, it on every side. So every side, everywhere you look, you're going to get caught, man. You're going to get caught out there if you're not watching and being diligent. And again, in these days, these are not days of, you feeling like, everything's going to be okay, right? And it'll work its way out, man. No, when you read on, the Lord said you're going to be a pilgrim on the earth, man. You will lose your job. I think about that all the time, man. That mama had to lose my job. I may not ever have a warm meal again, man. You don't know if you're going to be able to start a fire in the wilderness. You may have to be able to survive like Judas Maccabees on the herbs, right? And all of the different plants of the field in the wilderness, man. The 2nd Maccabees, the 5th chapter. So these things, right, are going to come upon you, and you're going to have to make a way and move in such a fashion to where you have faith. I can get that real quick in 2nd Maccabees 5, what was that, 26, 5:25 all the way down, 5:20 all the way down. Let me get this real quick. Let's start at verse 26, right?
Yeah.
It says, and so he slew all them that were gone to the celebrating of the Sabbath, right? You keeping the commandments, and running through the city with weapons, slew great multitudes. So people are catching hell and going through the fire. But Judas Maccabees with 9 others or thereabout withdrew himself into the wilderness and lived in the mountains. You know how hard that is, man, to live in the mountains. And again, you're not prepared to live in the mountains. No man, okay, you finally prepared. You got your big backpack, your camping backpack, right? You finally are prepared, and you push the button and you let the Lord know you're ready. No, these things are going to happen whether you're ready or not. And he fled into the wilderness, man. You got wild beasts, terrains, hills. You can sprain your ankle, man. You may not have boots on. It says, and lived in the mountains after the manner of beasts, man. What do beasts do? Beasts don't have a thermostat. Beasts don't have a bed. Beasts don't have the comfortability and the carpet and the different things you have in your house, man. So he lived as if he was a beast, meaning what? He traveled, right? Like the Lord said, paraphrasing, the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head, because he lived a hard life of traveling. It says, with his company, who fed on herbs continually, lest they should be partakers of the pollution. So his lifestyle changed in a matter of seconds. What he ate, how he lived, how he traveled. His life and his world got turned upside down, man. And these are the days where we're going to be turned right upside down in our fashion and the things we have. The comfortability of opening up the refrigerator, eating what we want, is not going to be as it was. So you have to arm yourself mentally to be strong. My brother's got it.
Gone. And you know, Jake doesn't realize that everything can change in the blink of an eye. Right? Everything can change at the snap of a finger. Let's go to Proverbs 21 and verse number 1. Because I remember back in the day on MTV, they used to have this commercial, right? It was a commercial of a family, right? Let me read this and then I'll go into the commercial. But this is Proverbs chapter 21 and verse 1. The king's heart is in the hand of the Lord, as the rivers of water, he turneth it wheresoever he will. Right? So it's nothing for the Lord to heat up what's going on already in the earth. Put it in one of these kings' heart to be extremely proud and arrogant and want to flex his muscle, right? They call it a pissing contest, right? Yeah, your missile can't do this damage, which in turn will cause another army to say your missile can't do that damage, and so on and so forth. You never know how the Most High is manipulating the minds of these kings to play chess while they're sitting here playing checkers, right? Setting everything up perfectly for the salvation of his people. But they had this commercial. It was in the early 90s, right? Early 90s, early 2000s. I don't know if you can look it up, Naquam. They used to have a family sitting in the living room and they're watching TV, laughing, had the TV dinner. And next thing you know, they come and kick the door in, M16s, and they like move, and they're rushing them into the into train cars or something along those lines. I don't know if brothers remember that, right? I'm not sure if they'll let us play it, but it said it could happen to you. It happened to them. It happened to you. It's talking about the so-called Jewish people.
With these ads. Hold on, I'm gonna get the sound going.
God, and it's a few of them, right? It was a few of those commercials that they used to play all the time, just randomly on MTV. You'd be watching, what was that show, TRL or something like that, and next thing you know, you got this serious commercial that happens, right? It's warning you. It's called predictive programming, letting you know that something is in play, right? These terrorist attacks that happen, right? All that happened to institute a new law called the Patriot Act. Right, the Patriot Act can say anybody's a terrorist and they can be treated as such at any time. Right, those unjust dealings and them unjust laws that they did to put in place things to pretty much control the masses. Right, but
You want to play it?
God, you got it, King. Right, but that's the one I'm talking about right there.
Okay.
Ariah said he was backstage. But,
You said what?
Ariah said he was backstage, but we can play the commercial. And then,
God.
God,
Yeah. I don't think I saw that one. I saw the first one. I don't think I ever saw that second one.
God, I remember I used to see that when I was younger. I'd be like, what is this? You know, it never made sense to me. But you know, these are the things that are going to be heating up. It's going to be a great insurrection against those that fear the Lord. Right? The Lord is going to try your spirit to see it's the trying of your faith. Right? Let's get that in 1 Peter chapter 1, in verse number 7, 6. I believe it's 1 Peter 7.
What? 1 and 7.
Yeah, come on. 1 Peter 1 and 7. It says that the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perishes, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Yahushua. Right? So all these things are going to be the trying of your faith. Right? Like the brother said, losing your job, not getting a home cooked meal, right? Not being able to bathe as a pilgrim, right? You hear gunshots every morning and bombs at night. This is the trying of your faith. Whom having not seen, ye love, and whom though ye see, so like though now ye see him not, yet believing ye rejoice with joy unspeakable and full of glory, receiving the end of your faith, even the salvation of your souls. This is the point right here, of which salvation the prophets have inquired and searched diligently, who prophesied of the grace that should come unto you. Right? So the prophets searched diligently to prophesy the grace that we have in this time period right now. Right? They went back, they looked at other scriptures of other prophets, and they pieced it together with their dreams. It was a lot of diligent work being done that we can have the understanding in these last days. Right? Loosely paraphrasing, it says a good man leaves an inheritance unto his children. Right? This is the inheritance that our forefathers have left unto us. That we're not blind, that we're just not out here doing whatever the hell we want to do. We have understanding. Right? We know the prophecies through the Spirit. We know what's right in the sight of the Lord. We know what's wicked in the sight of the Lord. Our forefathers they searched diligently and did diligent work to make sure that we would be okay in these last days. Right, verse number 11. Searching what manner of time the spirit of Yahushua was in them did signify. Right, so the spirit of the Lord was upon these different prophets to prophesy different kingdoms, different wars, different plagues that were going to happen. That's the spirit of the Lord, because the spirit of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. When it testified beforehand the suffering of Yahushua and the glory that shall follow. Right? So the suffering, we all have to go through suffering. We all have to go through those pains to be delivered as a child being born. Right? That's not comfortable for a child to come through a birth canal. Right? Birth canals are what? 2 inches, 3 inches big? I don't know. I'm just guessing. It's probably a little bit bigger than that. But it's got to be uncomfortable. It's got to be damn nerve-wracking. So the trying of our faith is going to be even more nerve-wracking of being delivered and being born. Right? Last verse, and brothers got it. Unto whom it was revealed that not unto themselves, but unto us they did minister the things which are now reported unto you by them that have preached the gospel unto you with the Holy Ghost sent down from heaven, which things the angels desire to look into. Right? The angels desire to look into these beautiful prophecies, the understanding, the gifts that the Most High has given to them. right? They see these things and they marvel at it, right? We're made a spectacle unto angels, and we're able to teach our people the ways to avoid, the things to look for, the things to pray for. Like the brother said, he grabbed something out the vending machine and had to diligently search to see what was in it, right? These people in the world aren't doing that. The Most High is using his spirit to put that same diligence and inquisitive spirit upon us to be able to be saved. Right, my brothers got it.
Yeah, that's right, man. You know, and I was thinking a lot of, well, not a lot. Well, a good portion rather of babies don't make it out, man. You know, you got the pangs of the birth, like Rob was going into. Then you got the babies that they choke, they come out the opposite way, they neck get caught. You know, they can't breathe, they come out purple. So that's a tough labor right there. You know, it come out blue, can't breathe, mucus. They be all all that stuff all in them, man. Can't see. They go through hell coming out of there, man. You know, this I want to get this real quick, and hold up real quick before I get that. To add to what brothers are saying, let me get this one. Where is it? So Trump, where is it at? Right here. I believe this is it. Okay. Trump hints at potential National Guard return to cities amid crime concerns. So he pulled a lot out, and then he said, I want to put forth that insurrection act, right? They say he's actually, now we don't know the Most High, only the Most High know, right? But this goes into that commercial we just showed, man. You know, it's going to, everybody get them alerts on their phone. I'm not talking about the Amber Alert. You get them public emergency alerts, right? You might get something that's a flood advisory alert. You know, these phones hooked up with the AI and all that stuff, man. It'll be a picture you might show up on everybody's phone, man. You know, they got this thing now. I don't know if brother saw it. If y'all saw, they got these like super deep fakes, and you got these dudes. Oh, it's like a split screen. So you got Jake or whoever it is, and then you got a woman, but you don't know that the woman on this screen is being controlled by the individual. Brother, seen that?
Yeah, I seen that. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't even know. Oh, go ahead.
So like a lot of professional athletes been getting caught up on that. The dude Matt Barnes got extorted for like $800,000 by a dude like that.
Wow. They call them like super deep fakes now. See, at first you could just take your face and put it on somebody, and people are doing that in music videos. But now, I mean, it's just full-fledged. This could not be me. That's how real it is. Like this I could be some Moabite in Hong Kong right now, but it looks like me. You can't even discern. So this stuff is getting crazy out here, man. It could be a video pop up on your phone. It's a brother, you know, but it's not really that brother. It's all types of madness. Somebody just did that with had brothers drinking blood and all types of stuff, man, and eating unleavened bread. So this stuff is getting real. If I find that I saw it about a week ago, I'll play it. But it says Trump hints at potential National Guard return to cities amid crime concerns. So they're gonna come back a lot more severe, right? A lot more severe. Now I'm gonna read maybe just two quick parts of it. Now this is from January 5th, Monday, right? Today, 6:25 a.m. It says several days after President Donald Trump said he's removing the National Guard from 3 major cities, he suggested that troops could return to U.S. cities when the crime starts. How do you know crime? How do you know when it starts? That means you have to kind of be behind it. That's not an optimistic, faith-based statement. That's something I'm gonna cause some more trouble, false flags, false shootings, bring more guns in, more drugs in, amp up the violence, make people more poor, more inclined to rob and steal. Then we'll go in there. So to say when crime starts, we're led to believe that you're going to orchestrate and facilitate that crime and hit the button so it can start. These devils have a saying, out of order chaos, man. ob ordo chaos or something along those lines, where they create the issue, they create the problem, then they come out to solve it so they can receive praise and glory, but they're the ones that started it, man. You know? And then there's another saying that they say never let a good problem go to waste. So whenever there's an issue, you're supposed this is how they think. You're supposed to take complete advantage of it, because nobody's going to stop you. Like if your house, God forbid, burnt down, or somebody your building or your job burnt down, any idea is a good idea at that point, man. You know, people are going to kind of consider all options. So they create problems so all options can be considered, because nobody has any answers. So they're looking to put these crimes out there. I'm going to read this last part right here. We can go back. We're allowed to go back in, but we'll go back in when the crime starts. Trump told reporters aboard Air Force One, look, the crime will start soon. It's like it says the crime will soon start because they now know that we're out. And at the appropriate time, we'll go back in, and we may, if we're allowed to. The most powerful thing we haven't used is the Insurrection Act, right? That's what they want to do, right? They want to enforce the Insurrection Act. And they're going to use this to come after all people who are extremist, outspoken, people that refuse to get down with the New World Order, hate groups, people on the SPLC, CIA Watch Board, and they may use this to come after all these people. They have these different platforms where they can monitor who's a potential threat, who's more likely to cause crime, who's more likely to commit a terrorist attack. They have different algorithms and AI where they're tracking individuals. They're linking it up to your finances, to your job, and they'll pinpoint you. They'll come grab you up, huh? Like that commercial right there, right? So that's the Insurrection Act. I want to get one quick precept, right? This is Colossians, right? Let me get Colossians 1:28. It reads, whom we preach, warning every man and teaching every man in all wisdom, that we may present every man perfect in Hamashiach Yahushua. So we have to warn every man about what's going on. That's the job of a watchman. All you brothers are watchmen, man. Right? A lot of brothers in Israel, you're making posts, you're letting people know what's going on, you're reposting things. Keep doing that, man. You see something that's tied into these prophecies, man. Hey, repost that. Hey, share that, man. Like that while you can, because we was talking about it on the Sabbath. They arresting about, 1,200 people a day in the UK, man, over social media posts. So things are that the Most High, he's tightening up them. He's closing in, for lack of better terms. I'm trying to figure out how they say it, but he's things are getting boxed in, right? So we have to warn every man about what's going on, so we can all be presented perfect to Yahushua. Verse 29, whereunto I also labor, striving according to his working, which worketh in me mightily. So we all have a spirit given to us by the Most High, and that should be working in us to labor, to warn everybody, and to warn your household, and to warn yourself, and remind yourself that the end of all things is here, man. Right, let me get one more real quick in 1 Peter. All right, so they're passing laws. Maybe 2 cold cuts ago, I went into a law they passed on December 24th. Man, so much stuff going on, man. Where I have to find it. They got all these laws, man, where they pretty much are giving themselves the legal authority to just come after you without cause. Right? But they just passed it. I have to find it again. But this is 1 Peter chapter 4:7. But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. And above all things, have fervent charity among yourselves, for charity shall cover the multitude of sins. And charity is love, right? Warning a brother is charity. Brother going left, you make him go right through precepts and rebuke and correction, exhortation. That's charity. Praying for a brother is charity, Fasting for a brother and or with the brother is charity. But also knowing that the end of all things is at hand. That's important. That's what we're going and showing you North Korea launching missiles. You know, the insurrection act and what these people are talking about. Huh? The Lord said, since you know that, be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer. That's now you got brothers that are drunkards, right? Don't get me wrong. You got brothers that are actual drunkards, right? They go home and they drink a whole bottle of Hennessy, and you know, they wake up in the morning and they taking 3 shots of Grey Goose. That's wicked. So you don't want to be a literal drunkard, but you also don't want to be a spiritual drunkard. This word sober, we go into it often. It means to curb your passions, to have discipline, right? To have restraint from your lust. That next time could be your last time, man. That next time you freak off, that fornication, that lewd act, that could be it for you in this truth. And the Most High can remove you. And watch unto prayer. So watch unto prayer. So you watch, that should be coupled with prayer and understanding the end of all things is at hand. And these devils, man, where is it at right here? Right? He says we're allowed to, and we're going to come back, right? And they ain't just going to hit 5 cities. I think they hit like 5 or 7 cities last time. They might come back and they say, you know what, we hit every city, and they're going to intensify their presence, right? Through maybe tanks and through helicopters, curfews, no camps out there. We'll see what the Most High allows, you know, if the Most High does has this thing go down. But, you know, once they come back the second time, they're going to intensify. They probably study people's behavior, you know, ran experiments, see how people responded, how many tweets were tweeted, how many Facebook posts were about the National Guard coming in, who reacted to it. They study these things. How many people were still buying? Did the market prices increase? Were people kind of staying at home at local stores? You know, how much money was lost in the stock market, the economy? They see how the people respond behavioral wise, financially, you know, amongst one another when they do things like that. So they know what to do with the follow-up, huh? Right? But brothers got it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's right. And they run these simulations just like
Right.
they do in war, like the brother was saying. They'll see how many people shopped at, you know, let's say a food line, you know, when it was a crisis. You know, how much meat was sold, how much, you know, bread was withheld, whatever the case may be. And they come up with these numbers and they push it, make these simulations, and they come up with their mind because they think they're the Most High. You know, if this were to happen, this would be the income. So we're not ready until we get ourselves positioned to take, you know, and they kind of play the future, right? Like a damn demon, huh? Let's go to the mighty book of Jeremiah 12 and 11, right? Jeremiah chapter 12 and verse 11. And again, when brothers are warning and warning over and over, you don't want to be like the old inhabitants of our fathers that didn't care. Nobody, when the prophets will prophesy, nobody cared, man. You know, we're like a nuisance at the harbor. Everybody walking by, they act as if we're ruining their day. We're messing up their date night. We're corrupting their Saturday night, their Saturday daytime, their Friday. We're overthrowing their weekend. Here they are trying to celebrate their birthday. They're out getting drunk. You know, they're out smoking weed. They're doing their pleasure. And here we are warning you. It may come across cruel. It may come across uncomely, but we're warning you. And nobody wants to hear that. It says, they have made it desolate, and being desolate, it mourneth unto me. The whole land is made desolate because no man lay it to heart, man. And no man lays these things to heart. No man cares. When the Lord does things, he doesn't do it just because, man. He does it, and he does it rather for brothers and sisters to understand the judgments. That's why you fear the Most High. It said the spoilers are come upon all the high places through the wilderness, for the sword of the Lord shall devour from the one end of the land even to Slakia, the other end of the land. No flesh shall have peace. So when the Most High draw that sword out of his sheath, right? It's not physical. How does the Lord draw a sheath out, man? Via the hand of the so-called white man, via the hand of pestilence, diseases, right? Via the hand of the job market going down. That sword coming out is going to be manyfold, man, especially with war. It says, and have sown wheat, but shall reap thorns. They have put themselves in plain, but shall not profit. What do you mean you sown wheat, but shall reap thorns, man? A lot of people that are sowing in this society, 401ks, they really want to continue in America, man. You have to be okay with the mentality of being uncomfortable, with things going downhill, man. It's the only way you're gonna get out of here. Can't do all this talk about slaves in the kingdom, but you know you don't want this place to go down, man. You should pray that your job gets overthrown. You should pray that this place goes down, man. That the Lord overthrows all of the meat markets, man. All of the different places where people buy and they sell and they flourish. It says, but shall reap thorns. They have put themselves in plain, but shall not profit, and they shall be ashamed of your revenues because of the fierce anger of the Lord. Right? Let's go to the mighty book of, let's go to Jeremiah. Matter of fact, let's go to Ezekiel chapter 21, and let's start at verse number 5. And again, the Most High's name has to be magnified back on the earth. Right now, nobody magnifies the Lord, but the men of the Lord and the women of the Lord and the children of the Lord. Everybody else, they don't magnify. They take the Lord as a joke. All these pastors, they're doing all these shows. They're writing on the walls. They're using people as dummies like this is some type of show, man. And they're doing it for views, for money, right? Everybody's playing with the Lord all on social media. They're playing with the Lord in these movies, man. They're making him as if he's an effeminate man, as if he's never coming back. They paint him out to be a so-called white man. His image has been crucified, like it's in Revelation 11 chapter, man. And nobody respects the Lord. Nobody knows the anger of the Lord in totality like they knew before. So his name has to be magnified back on the earth. It says that all flesh may know that I, the Lord, have drew forth my sword out of his sheath. I mean, everybody got to know who's responsible for this, man. Turn all of the hearts of all the kings against themselves. Turn all the armies of the earth against themselves, man. Having people that were at peace and had allies to make them enemies. It shall not return anymore. Sigh, therefore, thou son of man, with the breaking of thy loins, and with the bitterness sigh before thine eyes, man. Lord said, look, you should sigh. Daniel, you know, in the spirit, he damn near fainted, man. When you read the book of Daniel, I believe 7 and 15. When you read the book of Ezra, man, second Esdras, he was fainting when he got those visions and those dreams, man. You know, Habakkuk, Nahum, man, said the burden that Habakkuk, man, right, through the spirit. So these men, they buried those burdens of those prophecies. It says, sigh therefore, thou son of man, with the breaking of thy loin, and with the bitterness sigh before thine eyes. And it shall be when they say unto thee, wherefore sighest thou? I mean, what are you sighing for? That thou shalt answer, for the tidings, because it cometh, man. These tidings, man. So you don't even have to see World War III to sigh heavily to understand what's the outcome going to be, man. Everything you see when you go outside, it's going to be burnt with ashes. All your family that never wanted to listen will be burnt with ashes, man. All your dreams, your goals, things you wanted in this life, whether that be a singer, an athlete, right, to be a rapper, whatever the case may be, maybe you want an artist, maybe a painter, everything you've ever known is going to be burnt. Your hobbies, the only thing that's going to be saved is the elect. So the tidings of understanding these things should make you heavy, shouldn't be in a spirit of mirth. It says, and every heart shall melt, and all hands shall be feeble, and every spirit shall faint, and all knees shall be weak as water. Behold, it cometh, and shall be brought to pass, saith the Lord, man. So when brothers go outside and go into these precepts, they break down these visions, they go inside of these dreams, they break down these prophecies. It's more of a spirit of a deep breath for you to prepare yourself, get yourself together, not to take lightly the things the brothers are going over, man. Because you can't say you weren't warned. If you in that day, if you say you weren't warned and you didn't prepare yourself, that's on you. Right? I want to get one more real quick. In Psalms 130 in verse 1. Right? Psalms chapter 130 in verse 1. It says, out of the depths, right, cried have I cried unto thee, O Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let thine ears be attentive to my voice and my supplications. If thou, Lord, shouldest mark iniquities, O Lord, who shall stand? So like, I'm going to jump to verse 6. That's what I want. It says, my soul waiteth, right, for the Lord more than they that watch for the morning. See, his soul has to wait and patience, man. You have to keep watch. You know, waiting is keeping watch. You have to wait for the bus. You have to wait for 6 o'clock. You have to wait for an opportunity to open up. A lot of people, they'll say, well, you get a job interview, we'll call you back. We'll check your email. You sitting up there, you checking it, you making sure, you know, I don't know if some open up. You may be moving and it may be an apartment or a house or whatever the case may be. You may talk to your realtor or somebody you're talking to. Yeah, we'll be informed to let you know when that date opens up for you to fill out that application. People is looking in their email, they watching. They're waiting. It says, for they that watch for the morning, I say, more than they that watch for the morning, let Israel hope in the Lord. For with the Lord is mercy, and with him is plentiful redemption. And he shall redeem Israel from all his iniquities. So the Lord is saying, you know, to keep watching and to be patient and wait. And all of these things that brothers have read, went into, will all be coming to pass. Brothers got it.
God. And just thinking about us being at the harbor, how vexing it is to the people when we're out there prophesying, when we're out there waking our people up, right? Jake just don't know when somebody's trying to pull them in front of a Mack truck flying down on a hill going 150 miles per hour, right? Like the brother said, we're ruining their day. Man, you think we want to be out there ruining your day? No. If this information that brothers are out on the highways and byways giving you wasn't this valuable, we wouldn't be out there. If it wasn't this precious, we wouldn't be out there. It's only of the Lord's mercy that we're out there. Right, let's go to Isaiah chapter 30, start at verse number 20. Right, this is the point that a lot of people forget. You know, even Israel, when they're getting reproved, they forget that the preparation of the tongue and the answer of it is of the Lord. You know, loosely paraphrasing. You know, we're mere men. You know, we could give up the ghost one day, right? The Most High could take the spirit from somebody another day. He could cause people to speak a whole different language and not be able to communicate ever again. Right? So the Most High has set teachers out there to edify the people. Right? This is Isaiah chapter 30 and verse number 20. And though the Lord give you the bread of adversity and the water of affliction, yet shall not thy teachers be removed into a corner anymore, but thine eyes shall see thy teachers. Right? And all these churches who say that they read the Bible and they got the good news, they're not reading these verses about your eyes seeing your teachers, about you being reproved, about going to the highways and byways and in the hedges and waking our people up and bidding them to the marriage. Right? They're not reading this. So when they see austere men or men who don't dress or talk like their pastors, they tend to get offended. Right? They tend to shy away and say they know God. Right? But you can't know the Most High and still dwell in that inequity that he hates so much. Right? Verse 21. And thy eyes shall hear a word behind thee saying, this is the way, walk ye in it, when you turn from the right hand and when you turn to the left. Right? So the spirit of those who are the Most High, they're going to know this is the way I need to go. This is how I need to move in these last days. Right? The same way that you woke up and you're watching this video right now, you're calling yourself an Israelite, you're keeping the high holy days, right? You did a complete 180 from the old man or woman that you used to be, is the reason why we're still out on the highways and byways. Is the reason why we haven't stopped. Well, first and foremost is of the Most High, that he's given us still the ability and zeal to go out there. But secondly, it's so that we can wake our people up so we can get out of here. Like the brother said, it's a famine that's coming. Right? What's going to happen in the UK is going to happen in Babylon. Right? Your freedom of speech is not going to be free. It's going to come with a price. right? This is when those modern day martyrs are going to be shown. Right, let's go to Amos chapter 8 and verse 11. Right, those modern day martyrs are going to be seen if you truly are standing for the Lord. Right, a lot of people are going to duck and hide their tail. Right, how they tried to get the elder Eleazar to eat that meat. There's going to be a lot of people catching pleas in these last days. Right, oh, I got a good job. I can't mess this up. How my family going to eat? Right, burning. How do they say it in 2nd Esdras 16? A burning wrath is kindled.
Right.
Right, it's kindled, man. These people already are burning, and they're mad and they're angry because they're not the elect. They're not Israel. Right, it's much deeper than skin color. Right, it's being chosen. They know they're not chosen. They know that everything they do and they touch, it dies. But we breathe life into everything because the Most High is working through Israel. Though we have the bread of affliction. Right, but this is Amos chapter 8 and verse 11. Behold, the days coming, saith the Lord Yahweh, that I will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor a thirst for water, but a hearing of the word. Right? That's why YouTube channels are being shut down. That's why there's more police popping up on all these different campsites telling them they got to shut down. And coming very soon, like the brother was going into in the article, right, they're going to send these troops in. They're going to send these troops in. The troops are going to kick signs. They're going to throw people in jail. Right? Brothers you've been watching on YouTube may not see them again, man. They may be thrown into a concentration camp until the Lord cracks the sky open. Right? No man knows his end or the trials and tribulation that they may go through. Right? That's why it's important to not, what's the word I'm looking for? Not abuse, but neglect. Don't neglect the brothers who take the time to make videos, who take the time to go out on the highways and byways, who take the time to answer questions. Right? Jake becomes complacent, and familiarity breeds contempt. The more you see people, the more likely you are to not hold them to a high regard, to not take what they say as something of value, because you see them so often. Right? And there's going to come a day that when this famine hits, you're going to wish that you took the time to take notes. You're going to wish that you took the time to go and listen to the breakdowns, to read along with brothers. And you're going to be sitting there, like Yardon be like, darn. Right? You'll be sitting there doing that, clapping your hands and snapping your fingers. You got it, King.
So like one quick point, like the Lord said, faith coming by hearing. So if you're not hearing and you're not in this thing, then you ain't going to have faith in the last days.
God, it's no way possible because before any of us had the Spirit of the Lord upon us to be able to understand these precepts, you was reading this like a novel and didn't know what the hell you was reading. Right? You butchering up words. You reading these. You haven't took the time to break down the words. And you just reading it to say that you read it. I got my verse in for today. Right? Verse number 12. And they shall wander from sea to sea, and from north even to the east. They shall run to and fro to seek the word of the Lord, and shall not find it. So when you seeking the word of the Lord in these last days, you're not going to be able to find it. Right? They probably be burning Bibles. I believe it was China. They was burning Bibles, with Japan.
Yeah,
Right.
the books, yeah.
They was burning the Bibles. It's the same thing's going to be happening. The same thing probably happen here. If you get caught with a Bible, right, you get round up. Right? They may empty out a whole clip inside of you for holding the Bible. Then it's going to be seen who truly are the Lord's. Right? I got one more. Let's go to 2nd Maccabees chapter 10 and verse number 14. Right? I had this for the article that you brought up about Trump sending the troops back in.
Con.
Right? And everybody was saying, Lil Jake not going to go for that. They call them the YNs. Man, the YNs don't have no say. YNs scared of the white man. Right? That's why they don't go to these white neighborhoods and steal from them or rob them. They only stay in their neighborhood. They scared of the white man. But they're menaces and they terrorize their cities and neighborhoods. Right? These troops ain't worried about them. But this is Second Maccabees chapter 10 and 14. But when Georgius was governor of the holds, he hired soldiers and nourished war continually with the Jews, right? So Gorgias, he hired soldiers just to make wars with the Jews. And therewithal, the Idumeans, having gotten to their hands the most commodious holds, kept the Jews occupied, and receiving those that were banished from Jerusalem, they went about to nourish war. So those that were banished from Jerusalem, they grabbed them up and they damn was slaying them, man. Going to war with and fighting with them. Verse 16, Salaki. Then they, which with Maccabees, made supplication and besought the Lord. So when they see that war was going on and they were hiring soldiers to occupy where the Jews were at to keep them in order and round them up, they besought the Lord, right? That he would be the helper. So they ran with violence upon the strongholds of Idumeans, right? So what we're supposed to do when that happens, we're supposed to beseech the Lord. See how our forefathers moved in that spirit. See how our forefathers trusted in the Most High and were never ashamed or forsaken, right? But brothers got it.
Yeah, that's right, man. I mean, times are going to wax hard, man. The Lord said in Second Ezra that they're going to be in a pitiful case who've abused his ways, man. Right? Abusing the grace of the Most High, right? Going the hell off, not taking time to stay in the spirit, to read, to fast, to study. Right, let me get this in Second Ezra real quick. Right, this is Second Ezra chapter 16. I'm gonna read verse number 62. It reads, "Yea, and the Spirit of Almighty God, which made all things and searcheth out, it's like you're all hidden things and the secrets of the earth." So you can't hide nothing from the Most High, right? All knowledge and understanding goes to Yahweh. Ba'ashmi Abashah. Surely he knoweth your inventions and what you think in your hearts, even them that sin and will hide their sin, man. And how can you not fear a power like that, man? Right? The Most High Yahweh Ba'ashmi Abashah. He knows what you're thinking in your heart, what you hiding, what you think you're getting away with. Right? He knows the will that you have, your intentions, your level of sincerity, what spirit you in. The Most High knows all that, man. So you got men walking around as if they're going to get away with these things, man. Here you have North Korea launching missiles, linking up with China, linking up with Russia, linking up with the other kings of the East. Right? You have Iran informally declare war on the United States. Was this like a few weeks ago, man? Maybe 2 weeks ago or so. Esau grabbing up presidents, right? This economy shifting, and the Most High, he's beginning, like I tell you, Malachi the 3rd chapter, the Lord said, "Then shall ye return, and shall discern between the righteous and the wicked, between him that serveth God and him that serveth him not." And that's what the Lord is doing. He's severing out those who are chosen from those who playing around, man. You got a lot of Israelites just playing around in the last days. Verse 64. "Therefore hath he exactly searched out all your works and will put you all to shame." And it's a horrible state. It will be a horrible state to be calling on the Most High, thinking the Most High going to save you, but the Most High up there laughing at you. The Most High don't give anybody a text and says, "I'm going to be laughing at you." Right? It's something that just happened. You call him, "I know the Most High, he coming through." Most High not coming through for you, man. He searched out your works. He's going to put you to shame. Here it is, the Lord. It's almost that time, the Most High. The Lord coming to destroy you, brother. What are you talking about, man? You're eating unclean food. You're still committing fornication. You're watching pornography. You're dealing with this and that and the third. The Most High, the Most High don't play around, man. Right? He said he's terrible in his doing toward the children of men. The Lord is called the King of terrors for a reason. So you can't be playing around with the Lord, man. Verse 65. "And when your sins are brought forth, ye shall be ashamed before men, and your own sins shall be your accusers in that day." Because you might think you're getting away with it. Ain't nobody seen me. There's no witnesses. No, the Most High has the angels that recorded your sins. Those are the witnesses. So your own sins are going to testify against you and give the Most High the license, for lack of better terms, to judge you based off of the witnesses. Verse 66. What will ye do, or how will ye hide your sins before the Most High and His angels? Man? What you want to do? How you want this thing to go down? Right? How you gonna hide your sins before the Heavenly Father and His angels? You can't. So you want to make sure. We all want to make sure that we're walking this truth on a tightrope, man. You know, and everything matters. Everything matters, man. Right? Your work ethic, you know, your ability to stay disciplined, right? Your ability to read, to fight temptation, to get your mind and meditate on the works of the Most High, to watch the prophecies. There's a lot that we have to do, you know, almost simultaneously. You know, and that could be burdensome to a brother, but you got to fight through that, man. This truth ain't supposed, it's not supposed to be easy. I've never read, let me get Acts real quick. Let me get one more. I never read where the Most High said, okay, this thing is going to be easy. And okay, you come into this truth and everything's just going to pan itself out. And, you know, no, this is Acts 14 and 22, confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith, and that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of the Most High. And they was keeping it real with them, huh? Right? And these guys weren't veterans in the truth. Lystra, Iconium, Antioch, they were new. They was in Derbe and all these different places in Asia Minor. And they were strengthening their souls. And they were exhorting them to continue in the faith. And that's what we're doing, man. We have to exhort ourselves. And the Most High, He exhorts us through dreams. Brothers exhort you through camp, through teaching, right? You may have a righteous wife. She may exhort you or encourage you, right? The Most High may send angels down to work on your spirit to keep you going. We have to constantly exhort each other to continue in the faith, right? And that we must, not might, that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of God. See, it could have said, and we must, through tribulation, enter into the kingdom. It says that we must, through much tribulation, enter into the kingdom of God. So, you know, you're going to have them days, man, and it's going to intensify where that tribulation is going to increase. It's going to constantly increase. Might be grabbed up, hemmed up, separated from your family, right? These are the things the Lord said in Isaiah 33 and 6, that wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times, right? Wisdom and knowledge is going to be key components for your stability. So you're not shaken, tossed to and fro, and you want to have confidence, like the Most High say, it or boldness in the day of judgment. That's in the book of 1 John, that we may have boldness in the day of judgment. Judas Maccabees, it says in 2 Maccabees 15, he was ever sure confident, greatly paraphrasing, right, that the Lord would deliver him. And that's a beautiful spirit to have, confidence, man. Unshaken faith, you know. And we need, what last point, 2 things or 3 things that we're all going to need in these upcoming days is faith and hope and discernment. So hope and faith is, you know, like Ryan, you was talking about eating herbs and going out there. Yeah, you got to have hope that the Most High is going to deliver you. You might thought you hit rock bottom. That was the end all be all. You have to have hope that the chariot's coming. You have to have faith that the Most High is returning, right? And you have to have discernment so you know exactly what spirit you should be in to keep yourself level-headed and in check, discerning what's actually going on. Robert Brothers got it.
Khan, that's right. Khan, let's go to the mighty book of Sirach chapter 42. Sirach chapter 42, and I want to start at verse 18. Yeah, that's scary when you think about it, man. You gotta always remember that, man. That the Lord is the King of terrors, man. You know, the Most High, He can sift you out. Sometimes, like when brothers aren't in the spirit, you feel yourself slipping, man. Paraphrasing greatly, the Lord said, "A wise man knoweth when he slipped," man. Paraphrasing greatly, man. So you feel it, man. If you're on a level of discernment and you got wisdom, and the Most High kind of having mercy on you and dealing with you to a certain degree, you could kind of feel when you slip, man, and when things ain't really going, you know, a certain way. This is the book of Sirach, chapter 42, and verse number 18. He seeketh out the deep and the heart. So this is the Lord. He seeks out the deep, meaning all of the counsels of the earth, man. Things that seemingly are hidden, that men don't know anything about. And the heart, your heart is your thoughts, your mind. And consider if they're crafty devices, man. A lot of people, they make excuses. A lot of people, they have an excuse God, man. Their God is their excuses. And every excuse is perfect for the situation. Because your back really does hurt. Right? Your baby really was crying, man. You really didn't get any sleep. But you got to push through that, man. You can't make your excuses above the Most High. There are things commanded to do, man. It says, and the Lord knoweth all that may be known, man. That's scary. Anything there's to be known, man. How many scales are on a fish? How long and how many bones, this animal has? How long they are? Right? I mean, the inches, to God knows what, man. The mountains, the devices, the craftiness of man, the thought process, the diversity of roots, animals never seen before, man. Heights on this earth. That's scary, man. When you think about the Most High and fear isn't one of the first thoughts you think of, you got to check your spirit, man. Because to understand that there is a power out there that knows everything there is to know, can do anything at any given time, nobody can stay his hand, and you're playing with that, it's scary, man. It says, for the Lord knoweth all that may be known, and he beholdeth the signs of the world. Right? The signs of the world. You have to behold the signs of the world. The blood moons, right? The eclipse, all of the different things that are going on throughout the four corners of the earth, the volcanoes, the windstorms, right? And the Lord is doing it. The earthquakes, right? 7.2s, whatever the case may be, how high they are. You have to watch that. He declareth the things that are past and for it to come. So this same God, the same power is declaring things to come, man, and revealeth the steps of hidden things. Now, again, the hidden things are what's going on this earth, man. He revealed it to you. You may think if we didn't have a Bible, you may think, God knows what, man, right? China and Russia and America, they're just going to be in talks forever. Or you may think that, they're going to join peace together and they're going to have an alliance, and you may read books and you may have your own thought process. But the Lord revealeth the secret things, the hidden things, man. Jeremiah prophesied of things thousands of years ago. Ezekiel, man, Daniel. And these things are coming to pass as we speak. No thought escapeth him, neither any word is hidden from him, right? He garnished the excellent works of his wisdom, and he is from everlasting to everlasting. Unto him may nothing be added, neither can he be diminished, and he have no need of any counselor, man. So again, this is going into the works of the Most High, the fear of the Most High, the dread of the Most High, how serious this thing could be, man, how it's getting on the earth, right? You don't want to be in a spirit of relaxation, being rocked to sleep, right? I want to get one more real fast. Psalm chapter 13, right, in verse number 3. Psalm chapter 13 in verse number 3. Right, and it reads, it says, consider and hear me, O Lord, my God, lighten mine eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, man. Lighten your eyes, meaning you can understand and see what's going on in the earth, man. You could figure this thing out that you don't fall asleep. Again, a man's eyes being enlightened, is spiritual, man. If your eyes are enlightened, you can see mysteries, allegories, similitudes, things other people can't perceive. You get Ephesians 1:18, and then brothers got it. So when your eyes are enlightened, you're able to understand things that other people can't. It says, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that you may know what is the hope of his calling. A lot of people don't know the hope of his calling, man. Their eyes are enlightened to see what's going on, how serious this is, man. All they got to look forward to is hell in their mind, man. Be a good guy and be a good girl, and you go to heaven, right? They don't understand way before the destruction even happened with the bombs, it's going to be people dying of hunger. People getting looted, man. Imagine being in your house and somebody kicked down the door. You can't call the police. You can't call the government. There's nobody to call on but the Lord. There's literally nobody to call. Your older brothers, your gang, none of that matters because they're fending for their own selves, man. You could be in the biggest, you could be in the Bloods, though, the Crips, or whatever gang they have out there. Those men themselves are going to be crying out. They're going to be scared. They're going to be feeble, man. Lord say Egypt shall be as a woman. Right? There's these elites and it's the people inhabiting the land, man. Everybody's going to cry. It says, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened, that you may know what is the hope of his calling and what is the riches of the glory of his inheritance, right? And the saints, and what the exceeding gratefulness of his power to usward who believe, according to the working of the mighty power, which he wrought in Christ when he raised him from the dead and set him right at his own right hand in heavenly places, far above all principalities and power and might and dominion, and every name that is named, not only in the world, but also that which is to come. And I've put all things at his feet and gave him to be the head over all things to the church, which is his body, the fullness of him, right? That fleeth all things, fulfilleth all things, right? So, I mean, again, you have to know the hope of the calling, how serious this is, man. You got to perceive that. The brothers got it.
Come. Let's go to Second Esdras chapter 15 and verse number 3. Right, this precept popped in my head when the brother was going into it. Right, it's nothing you're gonna be able to do to withstand the plagues that are coming upon this earth. Right, it's nothing you can pay. It's nothing you can say. Right, it's nothing you can do to withstand it. Right, this is sent forth from the Most High to set things back in the order. Right, like how Esau says, order through chaos. Right, they have the false flags. They have things happen so they can push the agenda that they want to push. This is the Most High's agenda that he's pushing. That everything be reset from the foundation with him being the Godhead of everything and the ruling class under him. Right, that's the beauty of the things to come. Right, but I'll start at 2 Esdras chapter 15 and verse number 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. Right? So the Lord causes all the prophets to have them be written in paper because they're faithful and they're true. Right? The Lord is not a man that he should lie, or a man that his words will come back void unto him. Once he says something is going to happen, it's going to happen. Right? It may not happen that very instant. It may not happen a day later. It may not happen 5 days later, but for sure it's going to happen because it is faithful and it's true. Fear not the imaginations against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee. Right? Can we look up the definition of incredulity, Baruch Shah? Right? So these things, they can't trouble us. Right? I can't be troubled by the thoughts of other people. Right? These other nations, or the desire to bring harm upon myself, my family, my loved ones, the brothers I labor with, right? That shouldn't bother me, right? Incredulity, the state of being unwilling or unable to believe something, right? I can't let that shake or fathom what my faith is, what my belief is, what my knowing is. Right? None of that should be able to stir you or shake you or have you question. You sitting there scratching your head like maybe that's so. You know what that means? You lack faith. That means you have no true belief in what you have read. Like the brother said earlier, faith coming by hearing. You didn't believe none of the words that were spoken unto you. Right? You let these men waste their breath and you put on a facade like you believed. Right? Can we go back to the verse, Bob Kashan?
Sure.
Right? Verse number 4. For all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness, Right? He says all the unfaithful is gonna die in their unfaithfulness, man. Right? If you're not faithful unto the power that created heaven and earth and everything in them that is, then who are you faithful to? Right? Like the brother said, you can't call your gang when all hell breaking loose. Right? You can't call Shaniqua you used to talk to back in 5th grade. She's not gonna help you. Right? Nothing you can't turn on sports TV. That's not gonna help you. The only thing that's gonna protect you and sustain you is your faith in your How Bashem Yahushua. And like brothers is going into it, what's separating you from that? Right? What's pulling you away from your lifeline to everything? Right? You know, when people be in the hospital and the doctor's telling them they only got like a 2% chance to live, I will pull the plug, you know, the plug is the only thing keeping them alive. Right? What's pulling your plug from the Most High? Is it the women in the world that you're chasing that you can't shake off? Right? That concupiscence you have? Right? Because you saw some things you shouldn't have saw when you was younger, now it's festering in you. Right? Is it the weed that you're smoking? Right? That's defiling your body, that's making you forget everything. What is it that's separating you from the love of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua? Right? Is it the covetousness of the things that everybody else has and that you lack? Right, let's go to Romans chapter 8. Right, and we can start at verse number 33. Right, and essentially all that is idolatry. That's all it is. Idolatry is separating you from the love of the Most High. Right, you're an idol worshiper. Right, you're those men that died in 2nd Maccabees. Right, and they had those idols in their jacket. If anything is separating you from the love of the Most High. Right, Romans chapter 8 and 33. It says, who shall lay anything to the charge of God's elect? It is God that justifies, right? And that's Satan's job. Satan is to be the accuser, right? To bring forth the things that you stumbled upon, the inequities that you battle with. That's Satan's job to accuse you, right? But the Most High justifies you, right? If you're part of the elect, right? He cleans your slate and you're blameless before his sight. Who is he that condemneth? It is Hamashiach that died, yea, rather that is risen again, who is even the right hand of Yahweh, who also maketh intercession for us. Right? So the Lord gave his only begotten son for us, and Yahweh Shah makes intercession. Right? He's a lawyer on our behalf for all the wrong and inequity that we do. Right? We all fall short. Every man, woman, and child has inequity that they battle every day, right? That's a condition of the battle. And that's why Yahweh Shah is there to be our intercession, right? That's why he's there to make a plea on our behalf, right? Don't think you're the only one that's battling lust, right? You and a million other brothers in the truth. Don't think you're the only brother who's battling, not dealing with worldly holidays. You and 2 million other brothers in the truth. Right? Don't think you're alone and that you can't overcome it when you have a mediator as mighty as Yahweh Shai. Verse number 35, who shall separate us from the love of Hamashiach? Shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine or nakedness or peril or the sword? Should any of these atrocities separate you from the love of the Lord? You know, God forbid. Like the Lord laid his life down for us, and you're going to let a little persecution make you stop serving him? Your homeboy you grew up with not talking to you, so you're not going to serve the Lord? Right? That woman who says she loves you and she's your ride or die, but she talking about leaving because you in the truth. Is that going to separate you from the love of the Lord? Right? That's idolatry. That's death. That's pulling the plug on yourself. Right, just a few more. As it is written, for thy sake we are killed all day long. We are accounted sheep for the slaughter. Right? Nay, in all these things we are more than conquerors through him that loved us. So through all these things that we go through, right? Tribulation at work, bills piling up, right? Health infirmities, right? Unsettling beef at the crib, at home, shall I say? Oughts amongst brethren, right? All these things we conquer it through the love of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. For I'm persuaded that neither death, nor life, nor angels, nor principalities, nor powers, nor things present, nor things to come, nor height, nor depth, nor any other creature shall be able to separate us from the love of Yahweh, which is in Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. So that's pure faith and confidence in the strength of the Lord to know that nothing is going to separate you from the love of Him, right? Yeah, you may slip and fall, but what do? Are you going to show that you love the Lord, or are you going to keep slipping and falling and just saying, oh, well, it feels better laying down on my back? No, get the hell up and show your love for the Lord and stop setting him back up on the cross to a public shame. Right? Stop being the brother who makes excuses, not to Salaki for being long-winded, right? Stop being the brother who makes excuses and justifies it and finds people to justify it with. So y'all can freak off together in dark places and be around creeps, man. Right? Man up. Put on that beautiful garment and stop falling. Right? But brothers got it.
Yeah, that's right, man. I mean, this truth is about resilience, right? It's about resilience and temperance, man. Let me get that definition real quick. Resilience, right? Resilience is the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity, stress, trauma, or tragedy involving mental, emotional, and behavioral flexibility to cope and grow stronger, not just toughen it out. It's a developable skill, not a fixed trait, built through learned behaviors, positive outlooks, strong social connections, and coping strategies like emotional regulation, persistence, finding meaning, seeking support, enabling recovery, and even thriving after difficult experiences, right? So you want to have a spirit of resilience. You can adapt and bounce back, right? From adversity, stress, trauma, tragedy, etc. Right? And everybody is going to fall short, to the brother's point. The Most High, he'll break you down. You'll have something, then you'll have nothing. Then you'll have a car issue. Then you got a health issue, and then this bill came out of nowhere. Then you lost your phone, and then your transmission went out, and then you damn stubbed your toe, and now you got a migraine, and right, your spirits on your children, and your house got a damn hole in it out of nowhere, and all that hell breaking loose in your life. Now the Most High stirred up your supervisor against you, because the Lord stirred up spirits. He stirred up somebody against you, to give you hell real quick for a week, 2 weeks, Then the Most High take that spirit back, then give it back. And you gotta have a spirit of resilience, right? You gotta know how to deal with and embrace hell and adversity. You have to know how to deal with and embrace adversity, because like we're always saying, it's always going to get worse. It's always going to get worse. Things are going to get worse before they get better, and we'd be a damn fool and we'd be liars to say everything's going to be okay. Right now, they are in the long haul through faith in Yahweh and His only begotten Son Yahweh Shai. But times, let me get this in Revelation, the 12th chapter. Right, he's talking about this insurrection act. You got what else do we have real quick? We had let's see. Okay, we talked about the National Guard. You got this, man. This demon. He's prepared. You got the chariots coming. And they know that the Pope preparing for his first this fool for his first contact with aliens this year. So they know about the chariots, right? So the chariots are coming, they're waiting for first contact. You don't want first contact with the chariots. You don't want to be the first one in contact with them, right? That they're looking into these things and secrets are being revealed. And, you got the World Economic Forum. For brothers that don't know, the World Economic Forum is when you have top politicians, elites. It's like Psalms 83, right? Psalms 83 is pretty much the World Economic Forum, where they come together to discuss how to foster the new world order. That's all it is. And this year's theme is a spirit of dialogue. And when you look into these men in this new world order, man, or this World Economic Forum, their job is to essentially promote Babylonianism, right? And they all come together and they meet, I believe, in Switzerland, committed to improving the state of the world. And we know what that means. They're coming to destroy the world and enslave the minds of the people. So you have a lot going on in the earth, man. You have the top world elites coming together, right? You have chariot sightings, you have wars on the earth, you know, you have many things unfolding in the land of the living, right? Let me get to some Revelation chapter 12. Revelation chapter 12 and verse number 11. It reads, "And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony, and they loved not their lives unto the death," man. And that's a heavy spirit for the elect. There are certain men that are willing to lose their life for Yahweh and his son Yahweh Shah. It says they love not their lives until death. Right? Some brothers love not their lives, but it's not always until death. Some brothers, they'll sell out when things get too hard. They'll denounce the truth when things get too hard. They'll go back in the world. They'll do anything that pleases the flesh just to escape from the hell they catching. And there are men that loved not their lives unto the death. And they're going to overcome this world by using the blood of Yahweh Shai, right? By remembering his works, patterning your life after his works, after his diligence, after his faith, after his charity, after his willingness to sacrifice, to solely commit to the will of the Father. Nobody has ever solely committed to the will of the Father like our Lord Yahweh Shai. Just totally, how they say, locked in. He was just tapped in, just laser focused, right? That's the spirit we need to be in, man, right? Verse number 12. "Therefore rejoice, ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time." And this devil knows time is ticking. Tells you in Job, the 15th chapter, that a dreadful sound is in his ears. So he hears these prophecies. That's the dreadful sound. The live streams. You don't think Edomites are watching right now? You don't think families of Edomites are coming together? Top elites, as they swirl a cup of Merlot mixed with adrenochrome and baby blood, take their glass and throw it at the damn TV and start cussing, man. You mother, Israelites, they watching this, man. Turn it off, turn it off. Right? I've seen enough. And they turn around and offer up a damn sacrifice, man. Hey, they know what's going on, man. What is it, like 200 people so watching, man? Maybe. You think everybody's watching this is in the truth? No. You got scoffers that watch. You got people waiting for you to slip up to say, aha, I got you. You got Edomites that's watching, and you got nations, you got creeps, you got false brethren unawares, you got the righteous. So they know that their time is short. They're tuned in as well. And when the dragon saw that he was cast into the earth, he persecuted the woman persecuted the woman which brought forth the man child. The woman is Israel, the man child is Yahweh Shai. Now I'm going to jump down to verse number 17. "And the dragon was wroth with the woman and went to make war with the remnant of her seed, which keep the commandments of the Most High and have the testimony of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach." And this dragon, this modern day Roman Empire, this beast, America, they're wroth. They're upset, right? Who's the woman? The elect of Israel. In this context, they're upset that your family's in order. That they study these analytics, man. How many subscribers are tapped into Hebrew Israelite videos? How many people have bought Bibles over the last 5 years? Why did the Bible sales increase exponentially from this 20 so-and-so to 2000 and whatever to 2026? Why did Apocrypha sales increase? Why are there more fringes being manufactured and imported in? Who's doing this? What's going on? Why are Christmas sales going down? Why are New Year's sales going down? They watch who's watching TV. I can't remember the system they have, but they have a system when they know how many people watch the damn Super Bowl and the Grammys. 20,000 people watch. They know if you're watching. I can't remember how they track that stuff, but they be watching you watch.
So like, is it called the Nielsen?
That's what it is. The water. That's what it is. The Nielsen. What is that, man? Let me just see if I can just type it real quick. Is it Nielsen ratings?
Yeah, it's something like that. Nielsen ratings. But a quick point to what you were saying, they got so much detail in tracking Israel, they started selling fringes with ribbon of blue already connected to it.
Wow. Damn, see that? Right. So they doing this thing, man. Now, this says the Nielsen rating system measures TV. Now, this is they've been doing this. Imagine what they have now, right? But it says the Nielsen rating system measures TV and streaming audience size and composition using a panel of representative households with meters and data from connected devices, determining viewership percentages for programs and ads, which sets industry ad rates and informs programming decisions, evolving from simple set meters to sophisticated big data panel methods for a holistic view of live, recorded, and streaming content across platforms despite inherent limitations as an estimate. So they pretty much stalking you, right? They're stalking you. And they're wroth that you spent X amount of phone screen time looking at Hebrew Israelite videos. They want you to spend that screen time on Jake fighting Jake. What else? The latest challenge, whatever. I don't know what the new challenge is. Whatever the challenge is, or rap beef. They're watching you, man. They're mad as they look at all of the graphs go like this, and and they're going. The point is, they went to make war. They're going to make war against the servants of Yahweh Shmi Yahushua and those who have the spirit of prophecy. That's a testimony of Yahushua, the spirit of prophecy. So, yes, we talk about World War III. It is going to happen. The Lord said in Joel, the 3rd chapter, I mean, it's inevitable. He's going to gather all nations. But there's a more upfront, local, domestic war within your backyard, your front yard, in the streets of America between the so-called white man's military and the servants of the Most High. And we're only going to be delivered by calling on the name of Yahweh Bashmi Yahushua. This war is not a call to arms to gather up as much magazines and ammo and whatever you can. Oh, the brother said we're going to war. Okay, well, no, this is a time for us to seek the Most High and seek his refuge. And last point, when you read this, that's why it's so important to read. When you read Isaiah the 36th chapter, the 37th chapter, the book of Judith, the first 8 chapters in these different accounts, even in Jonah, when Israel was in Nineveh, you had other people there, but primarily Israel. Whenever it was a massive time of us about to be destroyed or wiped out, in the book of Esther, what do we always do? In the book of Maccabees, we will weep, we will call on the name of the Most High, and we will prostrate ourselves. We will put dust in our heads, sackcloth, and we'll call on the name of the Most High for days. We would do that for days at times. We were so unified and so faith-based through the Spirit. We as a people would do that for days on end, man. To the Most High would raise up a savior for us. So we were in a different spirit back then. We want to be in that spirit now, really calling on the name of Yahweh and his son Yahushua. But brothers got it.
Khan, and brothers heard about the Truman Show?
I haven't heard about that.
Yeah, could you look that up on YouTube and see if you can watch the trailer? So
Jim Carrey?
Yeah, I ain't gonna get a movie away. But long story short, this man has been watched all his life and he didn't even know it. You seen the movie, Amos?
Con.
Yeah, he been watched all his life and he didn't know it, man. So these cameras, they're everywhere, man. right? When you go into these businesses, you got cameras, right? Outside in the city, they have cameras upon local like stores, jewelry stores, grocery stores, gas stations. Literally, they could really follow you, man. And they could kind of watch you. At the harbor, they got cameras on top of the lamp posts. So they have a lot of cameras in these cities. They got cameras at your job, right? If they're really looking for you and you come out the house, they could kind of figure you out, man. Right? All right, he was at work this time. He's on camera. He went to the grocery store. Right? Look, he's on camera. Right? He comes like that. He's on camera. Right? I mean, you're always on camera, right? But to the brother pour this up, you know, through the spirit. But I mean, they're watching you, man. You got different alliances. You got the 9 Eyes Alliance. You got the 5 Eyes Alliance, and they share information with different nations about you and things that are going on in war. Right? But you got it, King. You can play it.
Come.
Truman Burbank lives a perfect
It's fair use.
life,
Good morning.
has a perfect job,
No way to guard against that kind of thing.
and a perfect town, all within a perfect world.
Look at that sunset, Truman. It's perfect.
He's never wondered why. Until now.
So it's a light that just fall out of the sky.
Okay, he's making his turn on the Lancaster Square.
It's a bad time, okay? I'm way behind. I got
Onto something, Marlon. Something big. A lot of strange things have been happening. On the elevator, there was no backing on it. I looked out. There was people there, and they're on the radio on the way to work. Start to follow me along, talking about everything that I'm doing. Feels like the whole world revolves around me somehow.
cue the sun. We've become bored with watching actors give us phony emotion. We're tired of pyrotechnics and special effects.
Are you listening to a word I'm saying? I'm losing my mind.
While the world he inhabits is, in some respects, counterfeit.
Who are you talking to?
There's nothing fake.
Tell me what's happening!
Yeah, so
script.
essentially,
No coupon.
he's living a life where he's on camera 24/7. He's the only one that doesn't know it.
Oh wow.
That his wife is in on it, and this world he lives, everybody watching him, man. Right, everywhere he goes, it's a camera, and people are like tracking his every move. And you know, it made me think of the Truman Show because that's what they're doing, man. They're watching you. They're always looking at the things that you're doing, and they're tracking you, man. You know, that's one of the beast's tactics, right? And you go to Revelation, right, chapter 11. Matter of fact, 13 and verse 7. That's what I want.
Come.
Revelation 13 and verse number 7. It says, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given, right, him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. So he has power to devour you, to overthrow you, to make war with you, man, to overcome you, and all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of life of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world, man. And everybody that's not in this truth is going to subliminally or manually, subconsciously bow down to this beast, man, one way or other. Whether you don't know you're bowing down, whether you trust too much in his system, whether you trust in his protection, his military, whatever the case may be, you're going to fall away by trusting in this beast, man. Only the rebels, the ones that have withdrew themselves from this world, right, are going to hate this system, rise up, and be in a rebellious like mentality to everything they push, man. Whether they push the jab, right? Whether they push the New World Order system and this law is passed and you have to do this, you have to succumb to this. That remind me of in the time of Nebuchadnezzar, man, when he played the flute, the sark and all of those different instruments that men had to come and worship and bow down before the golden image. And this new image is set up, in this world, in the modern day Rome. And if you bow down to this image, this flag, and everything the thing represents, right, of putting your hand and pledging allegiance to this society, and all religions are one, all customs are one, right? The Lord said your name is not written in the book of life, man. In order to be written in the book of life, you have to obey and submit unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, not obey and submit unto a kingdom of this world, Greece, Rome, America, Babylon. You cannot have the things that our fathers follow and the traditions that were given to us, and in the same hand, keep the things that are going on in this world. They're going against each other. So again, in the last days, you got to have a stiff backbone, man. And the more serious you are about the Lord, the more you're not going to give a damn. I'm going to put it like that, man. Less you're going to care about emotions and how people feel. It is what it is, man. That's what the Lord said. If you're not following the Lord, you're against the Lord. There is no middle ground. There's no 1 foot in, 1 foot out, right? You may have had that mentality coming into the truth, but actually when your feet are rooted in this truth, you understand through the Spirit there is no lukewarmness. There is no 1 foot in, 1 foot out. There is no Thanksgiving dinner, feast of Passover, man, right? Feast of dedications. There isn't any of that, man. Either you keeping God's holy days and the laws, or you're in opposition and you're against that, man, right? So in the last days, brothers have to have a stiff backbone and stand up for what's right, man. Right? Many people are going to fall away. It's happening now, man. For brothers that have been watching camps, you've seen certain camps, men, right? You've been in this truth. You've been in camps. Some brothers fall away. Those right beside you. It's going to be a great falling away, and a man of sin will be revealed, man. That's exactly what's going on in the last days. The brothers got it.
Brothers, got anything else? Amos, you got something? Or do brothers want to go to closing precepts?
We can close it out. I'll start it. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, chapter 16 and verse number 74. Right. So to sum up this live as short as I can, keep watch. Right. Don't be foolish with the oil that you do have. Sustain it until the end. Right. Remember the parable of the 10 virgins. Right. 5 foolish and 5 wise. Right. Don't be a foolish virgin in these last days. Right. Store up as much oil. Continue to be watchful. Right. Like the brother said, go on Twitter. Twitter has a lot of information. Right. It's a lot of folly on there. Right. But it has a lot of information. Be able to see what's going on in real time. Right. It's what's the dude's name? Damn, I can't remember his name, but he made an album. It was called "The Revolution Will Be Televised." I can't remember his name.
Is that Talib Kweli?
No. That's
That's an older
dude.
Carmichael, not Carmichael.
Nah.
Damn. I'm gonna look it up. I know you're talking about with the afro.
Come with the afro. It's right on the tip of my tongue. I don't want to lose it. Gil Scott Heron.
Yeah.
Gil Scott Heron. Right.
Yeah.
He said the revolution is televised. You're seeing the revolution be televised before your eyes. Right. The shift is happening, man. Everybody's getting rid of that carnal mentality, and everybody's moving spiritually if you're part of the elect. Right. Yep. Gil Scott Heron. Right. The revolution will be televised. Right. Looks like everybody uncle or grandfather.
Yep.
So it will not be televised, right? Revolution will not be televised, right? It's being shown by, your everyday people posting, taking pictures, right? It's being played out right before your very eyes, right? But the second Esdras 16:74, it says, "Hear, O ye my beloved, save the Lord. Behold, the days of trouble are at hand, but I will deliver you from the same. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for Yahweh is your God, and a God of them who keep my commandments and precepts, save the Lord Yahweh. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves." Right? What we was going into earlier, right? The Most High is a God unto them who put their all into Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, right? And you can't let your sins lift themselves up, right? Though it may be hard to shake and it may be hard to, wipe the dust off of yourself, but you got to. Woe be unto them that are bound with their sins and covered with their iniquities, like as a field is covered with bushes, and the path thereof covered with thorns that no man may travel through. It is left undressed and is cast into the fire to be consumed. So if you're still stuck with that iniquity, right? You're dealing with adultery, you're dealing with bestiality, sodomy, whatever you're dealing with, and you can't shake it, or you don't want to shake it, you're just as a field covered with bushes ready to be consumed with the fire that's coming. Right? So be steadfast, have your loins girded, and endure unto the end.
If I could get the mighty book of Revelation, chapter 3, Baba Kashaw. That's right, man. It's beautiful exhortation through the spirit, man. Most definitely gotta look back over this and apply this, man, as much as I can. In the last days, you want to soak up as much as you can and relay it to your life and examine. It's the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 2. Be watchful and strengthen the things which remain that are ready to die, for I have not found thy works perfect before God. Remember therefore how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come at thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So all throughout the lesson, brothers was letting you know and going into precepts on keeping watch, being diligent, because at any given second you can be caught like a thief in the night. The Most High willing, man, brothers continue to keep watch. Brothers lean on brothers, man. Brothers need brothers, man. We all we got. Brothers said it all the time, man. If it wasn't for certain men, elders, sincere brothers, sincere sisters in this truth, when you really look in the mirror that the Most High has used, where would you be? All throughout the scriptures, we could lean on accounts and go to accounts where brothers have uplifted, exhortated, rebuked, pushed brothers, helped brothers, carried brothers, right, through the spirit, man. And we got to have that same mentality in the last days. Brothers got it.
That's right. That's right. And I'm gonna add to that this Revelation chapter 22 and verse number 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be, man. And this is what we all waiting on, right? Everything that we're doing, we're enduring, we're going through, we're fighting. Tom, you spent laboring out there in the highways and byways, the ability to say no to sin, to denounce wickedness, to your family separated from you, you caught hell at your job, maybe you had a woman before, your woman left you, maybe your children, they're not in your life no more, maybe your parents, there's a spirit of resentment, because now you know that you're an Israelite, and all of the infirmities you've been through, all of what you're going through, there is a reward when it's all said and done. We're not doing this for nothing. The apostles even said, Lord, we left all. What shall we have? Well, what we getting out of this paraphrasing? What shall we have therefore? Yahushua didn't say, give me a chance, let me think about it. He's not like the so-called white man, where you labor, you work 60 hours overtime and 2 weeks, and all hell is breaking loose in your life, and am I going to get a raise? And he says, I'll think about it. Well, give me a minute. All right, give me a minute, boy. Like in the movie, what's that movie? Damn, man, the Denzel Washington movie. A devil in a blue dress, something like that. Hey, in the movie, man, he was working all the hours. He was trying to get his check, and Esau kept calling him fella. He said, "Look, fella, I don't got your money, man. Look, fella, go down the street, fella." All that hard work, he said, "Look, fella," and then Denzel kind of snapped in that movie. You could watch the rest, but he snapped, man, and he said what he had to say. See, Yahushua is just, man. He said in Matthew the 20th chapter, he says, "It's not lawful for me to do what I will with my own, man." So it's lawful and it's right and it's just for the Lord to reward you. That's the law, according to your labor. That goes back to the law in Deuteronomy, the 24th chapter. You have to pay that man. The Lord can do what he want to do, but he's just and perfect. So he's going to reward those men that labored in that vineyard, man. You know, so keep that in mind when you're going through hell, fighting through tribulations. You know, you don't feel like praying, you don't feel like fasting, you don't feel like reading, all them fleshly things. Be mindful that there's a reward for a sacrifice. Right. So with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh, by Shema Mashiach, like Bashar, Brother Naquan,
Brother Amos.
Brother Ryan. Shalom.
Shalom. Kwame Yasha.